can you give us the chance to check in on your mental health? Yes, you heard me right. Now let's look. What are the rules of ethics and moral when it comes to our mental health?
It's Mental Health Mondays. Health, they say, is wealth. To know your health status, you must be aware of the situation around your mental health. This program is highly sponsored by Stethoscopes and Sacrifices, MedCare.
This is Augustine Elijah, and I will be taking you today on our Mental Health Monday. And today we are discussing on ethics and moral. Yes, you heard me right, ethics and moral. Ethics and moral are no strange words to us. A lot of us are familiar with the words ethics and morals. What is ethics? Ethics simply refer to principles that guide our actions. They are laid down rules, they are laid down principles that guide an individual action, either in an organization or in a place of work, or whatever the case might be. But when you hear the word ethics, just know that these are principles that guides one's action or behavior in an organization or in a place. Morals, on the other hand, refers to about right and wrong. Morals has to do with our personal belief on what is right and what is wrong. Now let's look. What are the rules of ethics and moral when it comes to our mental health? A psychologist named Sigmund Freud designed a structural model of personality, which divides the mind into three interacting components. He talked about the id which has to be our unconscious instinct. He also talked about the ego, which has to do with the rational mediator, and he talked about the superego, which has to do with the moral conscience. So today we are talking about morality, and the superego of the Sigmund Freud structural model of personality, where it divides the mind, it actually talks more about our moral conscience. Now the id is referred to as pleasure principle, meaning that the id has this thing that it needs, has this gratification. The id always wants, like the id is what that makes people hungry, libido, aggression, all those things. But here we have the superego. For the superego, which is the third one, represents internalized social rules, morality, and ideas. So it is the superego that has the moral components. It is the superegos that tells the id that, see, there are rules to which you can get this pleasure you are looking for. So for Sigmund Freud, he pointed out that the superego is where the ethics, it is safer to say, is where the ethics and morality stays. These are what guides our conscience. These are what guides our living, our behavior. It is the superegos that now punish our ego with feelings of guilt when moral codes are violated. Now, I want you to note that most times when people go through mental health challenges, there's every tendency that they go against the ethics of either their workplace, they go against the ethics of the society. And to us in the field of the mental health, when people begin to go against the laid down rules and regulation of an organization, we tend to see that there is a problem. Now also, there are situations, there are some psychopathologies that makes an individual to lose their morality. And you begin to see people begin to behave in such a manner that people begin to question their morality. So today, we are challenging you on our Mental Health Monday. Has there been any situation whereby you are already going against the ethics of your organization, or you are already going against your morality? Can you give in a chance to check in on, can you give us the chance to check in on your mental health? Today we are advising you, if you are going against the ethics of a particular organization, or you are going against your own moral standards, why not check your mental health today? Thank you. That will be all for today. See you next Monday on our Mental Health Monday.